Hello guys, welcome. I am Samantha the Introvert. Today I want to give you my personal recap on episode 9 of Pitbabe series 2. So let's get into it. So let's continue when Pete called Babe to tell him about Willie and his ability. But before Babe could do anything, Willie had already gained access in the lab and already had stopped time. Damn it, Willie even used the opportunity to kiss Babe. But what I do notice is that Willie's ability has time limits, so Willie knocked Babe unconscious when the limit ends. Later we see Winner brought Kenta to Tony. It's funny how Kenta let himself be caught the second time just because he wants to get more details to send to Pete. But now Tony's angry at Winner because he failed to get Charlie. No one is good enough in Tony's eyes, but yet he can't even do that job himself because he's hiding from everyone. He then got a call from Willie, but Willie said he purposely went far off location because Tony put a chip in his head, and because he's far away, the signal is out. Then he tells Tony he wants to make a deal so Tony can get Charlie. Everyone at the garage trying to comfort Babe while Jeff is trying to use his tech brain to find Charlie. Jeff is telling everyone what Charlie heard Tony told Willie. Jeff knows that all happened is Charlie's way of keeping them safe. Then came Kim, Pete, and Chris. Kim told everyone what he and Kenta discovered in the lab area. Kim then told everyone that Kenta sacrificed himself, but now I think they need to find a way to save Kenta. Honestly, out of everyone, Kim cared for Kenta, even showing it. Kim said he saw documents on what Tony did to people. Most have died and some have survived, like Willie. Kim explained exactly how the experiment works, but the audience was curious that when Kim mentioned this about the experiment, the camera went on Alan. Everyone wants to know why Tony wants Charlie, but it's a simple answer. Tony wants to control Charlie. Charlie has the ability that Tony needs. All he needs to do is control Charlie to use him. Meanwhile, Willie has Charlie telling Charlie the things Tony did to him and how he can't escape from Tony because he planned a chip in his head to track him down. Charlie tries to convince Willie that he can escape, but Willie basically tells Charlie that he can't even if he tried. See, it's a big difference because the difference is that when Tony had Charlie and Babe and Jeff and Kenta, he basically kidnapped them as a child, raised them, and manipulated them in season 1. But in season 2, Tony got crafty, using chips to control. Winner then told Tony that the GPS chip Tony installed in Willie's head is shut off because Willie went to a place with no signal. Winner then went to Kenta, thinking Kenta knows something, but even if he does, he wouldn't tell Winner. Winner then took the rest of the security and let just one watch over Kenta, but he made that big mistake. Kenta ended up strangling the guard and replaced him. Honestly, Kenta slash Garfield, that was sexy. That was damn sexy. Back at the garage, while Kim is worried about Kenta, Pete shows Kim a text from an anonymous number saying he is okay and not to bother helping. Pete then said that it's Kenta. I'm not even sure if Pete is worried for Kenta because why the hell is he so calm and collective? See, Babe will do anything for his man. By the way, Pavel is the one riding this bike. Not really sure if it's his bike. The reason why I say Pavel is doing that because in normal shows, they will cover the face. But right here, you don't see his face covered. You see his eyes and letting you know that he's the one riding the bike. Anyways, remember that deal I told you about that Willie wants to make with Tony? Well, the deal is for Tony to get Charlie. He wants Tony to take the chip out of his head. But first, Tony will have to agree, which Tony is not agreeing with. Willie said he will attend the race and he will be there so Tony should find a way to meet up with him. Alan sees everyone is tired, so he convinced them to go rest, and he will wait for Babe to get back and hope Babe got good news. When Pete and Chris went to Pete's place, Chris asked Pete why did he not tell everyone about his connection with Tony, and Pete said he felt it's not the right time. Chris asked Pete if they will be okay if they found out, and Pete said no. But in my opinion, I know they will not be okay with it, but it doesn't mean that they will forever hate Chris, because even Chris said that he hated that he had connections to Tony. The funny part of it all is now that Pete shows no interest in Chris, we see Chris showing feelings for Pete, but slowly denying the feeling. Then at the garage, Babe drove in. Now, seeing that Babe drove his car, it means Babe went home in hopes that Charlie would show up, but that did not happen. The last time I saw Babe like this was when the death of Way. Also, can someone in the comment tell me if Babe's father is still alive? Like, where the hell is he? At home, Alan's phone was ringing and Jeff picked it up and found out that the call is from an hospital telling him about Alan's surgery. When Jeff confronted Alan about not telling him about this, Alan told him he didn't want to worry Jeff. But then Alan told Jeff about the surgery and what is exactly wrong with him. Alan said the surgery was long overdue and the pain he have is the reason he stopped racing, which means he should have done this surgery way before meeting Jeff. At the lab, these two notice Chris is spacing out and ask what the problem is. Chris admits that it's kind of about love, but it's not relationship love. Anyways, Chris is into this person, which is Pete, but no one knows that, not even these two, but also admits the reason this relationship has not progressed further is because of him. You know, I swear, if I ended up finding out that this is actually a way that lost his memory, I will pretty much lose my shit. Meanwhile, Kenta, still in disguise, scouting out the area to gather information, enough information as he can. In the end, homeboy let him get self-caught again. Motherfucker, do you not value your life? What the fuck? This better be worth it. But do not die before being a couple with Kim. At Alan's place, Pete said that he has an intel, pronounce it good. Anyways, he got an intel who is not Kenta, told him that Tony will be meeting up with Willie as planned at the racetrack. But everyone knows not to believe in Tony. Like, Tony will not expose himself in public like that. Meanwhile, Kim is the only one worries for Kenta. He even is smoking, and that smoking reminds him of Kenta. Now, before the race, Sonic is telling Alan that he does not trust Dean to be part of this team. But Alan basically tells Sonic that he believes that people should get a second chance, and Dean is one of those people. Dean, who heard them, went to talk to Sonic, but Sonic doesn't want to talk. I believe Sonic is the only person in the team that hates Dean. Dean, I know you mean well, but for you to convince us to forgive you and completely have you on the good terms, you would have to completely do something drastic. Meanwhile, Chris is telling Pete that he will not do anything for Pete to lack trust in him, or worse, go to Tony. Jeff sees how bad Babe is. Jeff should know his brother's lover is hurting when they are not together. Charlie really will die for everyone, but mostly Babe. Now it's the race day and everyone is looking out for Willie, but no one sees him yet. But as soon as the race is about to start, we see Willie just race back in. Meanwhile, the race is going on. We see Winner on standby. Okay, so they have a plan. And that plan is to corner Willie, but not let it too obvious for the other racers to see and know about it. Also, to make it work and to get away with it, Alan orders to shut off the signal so no one can see what they're doing on the track. The plan somewhat kinda worked, and Dean cornered Willie at the warehouse far away from the track itself. Babe and Dean pinned Willie down and then asked him where Charlie is. Willie won't spill though. Babe almost killed Willie, and it's sad because Willie didn't even try to fight back, as if he was willing to let himself get killed. But Dean ended up backing Babe off. Because again, we need to know where Charlie is, and Willie is the only one who knows where he is. Babe ended up taking Willie away with Willie's car, while Dean stays back to face Winner, who came along. Dean and Winner raced head-on then there was an explosion. Honestly, I'm shocked to even say all this, but at this point, we didn't even see that Dean would die. It wasn't on our bucket list. That's drastic. Not sure you should have gone that route though. Honestly, I'm shocked. Wow. Dean dying. Wow, I guess Dean wanted to let everyone know this is his loyalty to them, but boy, it was epic, guys. Okay, that is the end of my recap on episode 9 of Pitbabe Series 2. Stay tuned for episode 10.